Okay, so now we're going to look at a fractional coefficient. Miss Esri, can you circle the fractional coefficient, please?
The coefficient's always in front of the x.
Okay, so we've got negative 2/3 x less than negative 14. So step 1 says to remove the constant. It's the number that's on the same side as the variable. Do we have a constant in this problem? No, we don't. So we can go ahead and move on to step 2. So step 2 says that we need to isolate the variable by performing the inverse operation. So we've got negative 2/3 times x. So we need to perform the inverse operation, which means we need to divide both sides by negative 2/3. And we talked about, oh, that looks so unfriendly, those fractions. We want them to be friendly. So we're going to write them in a way that's easier for us to manipulate. Okay? And that's a little bit more friendly. So now we're going to go back to that song. Keep, change, flip. That's the action. Everybody's going to know how we're dividing fractions. So we're going to use keep, change, and flip. So we're going to keep negative 2/3. And Miss Esri, can you finish off the rest of that, please?
Okay, I'm going to change this to multiplication and then flip this to negative 3 on top. Over 2.
Okay? And when we multiply, we're going to see that we end up with negative 6 over negative 6, which has a value of 1. Okay? So when we divided by a negative 2/3, we got 1. So we got 1x, and remember we don't have to have that 1 there, is less than negative 14 divided by negative 2/3. Again, we're going to take this really unfriendly form and make it a friendlier version, and we're going to take negative 14 divided by negative 2/3. And we're going to sing our song again. Wow, it changed it to writing for me, which is not really what I wanted, but there it is. Okay, so back to 2/3. This pen is super sensitive. So keep, change, flip. That's our action. So we're going to keep, change, and flip, and hopefully this time I can get the eraser to work. Oh yeah, look at that, I'm an expert. And I'm going to work this out. So, Miss Esri, you want to try keep, change, flip again?
Okay, great. So I'm going to keep negative 14, then change to multiplication, and then flip to negative 3 over 2. Okay? So now I can multiply across. Negative times a negative, I look at my tic-tac-toe board, and that gives me a positive. So my answer will be positive. But 14 times 3, that's too hard. I need to write it out here. Times 3. 3 times 4 is 12. And then 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 1, you get 42. So I get a positive 42 over, this is understood to be over 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Still not done yet. I have to simplify. That'll end up equaling
21.
21. 21 over 1, which is just 21.
Okay, so now we're going to go back to our equation, our inequality, and we're going to put x is less than 21. So then step 4 is where you need to check your solution. So we're going to have you all check your solution right now in class. So you're going to put negative 2/3, you're going to write it down, and hopefully you won't have as many technology issues as I'm having right now. And you're going to choose a number, and you're going to make sure that that number is less than 21. And when you pick that number that's less than 21, you should have something that's less than negative 14. So we're going to try this out in class. Oh! We forgot something. What did we forget?
There's a negative. There's a negative.
A negative? What does that mean?
I think you have to do something with the sign.
We have to do something with the sign. What do we have to do with the sign?
You mean the inequality sign?
Yes, that inequality sign right there. What do we have to do? We have to flip it. We have to flip it because we divided by a negative number. So we're not ready to work our example. We have to change that. And we have to flip it around. Don't you love technology?
I do.
We have to flip it around to the other way. And now we have x is greater than 21. And when we try it out together, we need to make sure that the number we choose is greater than 21, or else we don't have the right answer. All right, let's try.